Alright, so we inserted some data into our database. Now what I want to do is go over select queries, how we can grab certain fields out of certain tables and display them. If you're building an application, obviously you'd use PHP or something else to perform these queries, but we're just gonna perform them right in the command line, or actually we're gonna do it in MySQL Workbench. We haven't really worked too much with it, so I figured we could do this in Workbench. We could just as easily do this through the command line or through PHP but I'd like to introduce to you a couple different clients that you can use to interact with your database. Alright, so I opened up MySQL Workbench, and if you have XAMPP installed with MySQL, then you'll probably see something pop up here under MySQL connections. So we want to click on that, and that's actually going to bring us to this interface that has all of our local databases here. You can see we have our store database right here. So if we click on this arrow and we click on tables, we have all of our tables just as if we were editing this in PHP. And you can basically do the same kinds of things, just differently. So what I want to do, like I said, we're going to select some records and display them, and we can actually do that right in here. But one thing that I just noticed is we need to change the data type of one of our fields. We need to change price. So in the products table and columns, we have price, and if I click on this down here, let's see. Down here you can see that I have it as varchar with 30 characters. Price should be a decimal, alright, because we want to be able to have $9.99, $9.95, things like that. So we just got to write a query to change this. So I'm going to write that right in here. I'm going to say alter table, and then we want the table name, which is products, and then we're going to say modify price decimal. Alright, actually we'll write that in lowercase just in case, and we could press this this little icon here and it should run it. Alright, so we have an error. Oh, table users.products doesn't exist. So right now we're actually in the users table. We need to switch to our store table, so we can say use store, and down here you can see use store. Alright, now let's go ahead and do that again. Alter table products, modify price decimal. Alright, so let's see now. Server, I want to see if we can refresh this. It looks like it still says varchar. Let's see, 12 rows affected, 9 warnings, data truncated for column. Alright, so I don't know if there was an issue because there's data already in the table. Let's open up PHP and check it out. I find this interface to be a little easier, and I've been working with it much longer. So store, products, and we got price over here. Let's look at the structure. Price is now decimal. Alright, so that's good. So it did change. It's just not reflecting in here for some reason, but it did change. Alright, so that's good. Now what we want to do is we want to select data. Alright, and let me just show you the syntax. So what we would say, select field name 1, field name 2 from database. Alright, so this is the syntax to select whatever fields that you wanna select, or columns. All right. When I say field name, I mean things like name, description, price, things like that. Okay. But if you don't want to write out every single field that you want to use and select, you can just use the asterisk, and that's just going to say select all from, and this shouldn't be database, this should be table name. Select all. So we could say select all from products. So let's actually do that. Alright, we want to click this little lightning bolt, and it gets us all of the products we have in the table. And it shows each column that we have, name, description, price. Alright, and we could just as well say select name from products, and it's just going to give us the name, no other columns. Let's say we just want the name and the price. Alright, so that just gives us the name and the price. Now, these queries are good if, let's say, you have a blog post table and you want to display all your blog posts, but sometimes you want to specific data. For instance, let's get rid of this and let's say select all from the customers table where, okay, now this is called a where clause, and we can specify a column, and we'll just say ID, and then a value. So where ID equals 3. And then we have one record that's showing up, which is the ID with the user or the customer with the ID of 3. Now we don't have to use ID, we can use any field. Let's say where first name equals Beth. Okay, so that's a string, so it should be in quotes. And then we have Beth McAdams. Now we don't only have to use the equal sign, we can actually take numbers and say if greater than or less than. For instance, let's say select all from products where price is greater than 20. We run that and we get everything from the table that has a price greater than $20, because the price is in decimal notation. So let's say over 200. Okay, and that gets us everything that's over 200. You can see the prices right here. All right, so you could use greater than and less than on decimals and integers, basically any numeric type of value. Now we can also search for partial strings, and we can do that using a like query. So we can say select all from products where we'll say where name like, and then we want to use inside quotes, and we want to tag on a % symbol on at the end of it. All right, so let's just say surface. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, that gives us this surface tablet. Let's say treadmill. All right, I guess we didn't have. I thought we had one called. I thought we had treadmill. So you saw the surface. We can even say just surf, and that'll show up. Let's just put in S. Okay, we need that % sign. And if we put in G, it gives us everything that starts with a G. Alright, Gold's Gym. And let's see, let's do search a description. And you can see that in the description we have the word treadmill in both of these, but if I say treadmill, nothing comes up, and that's because when you have just the % sign on just the end of the word, then that means that this description is going to have to start with this word. Alright, if you want to search for it anywhere within the field, then you want to put a % on the beginning as well. Okay, so now if we run this, it gives us 3 values. We have treadmill here, here, and here. All right, and we don't even need the whole word. We can just say tread and search, and it's going to give us the same result. So this is really handy when you're creating some kind of search on a website. You just want to keep this as a variable, and basically whatever the user enters in the form will get put here and then searched, and then you'll display the results on a web page. It's not the most advanced search engine that you can build, but I mean it works. You know, it's something. So let's see. Now what I want to do is show you how you can use a conditional. All right. We can say select something where this and that, or this or that. Okay, so let's say we want to select all from products where category equals 1. All right, we've done this. So this gives us everything that's in the category with the ID of 1. All right, but now let's say we want everything in category 1 and we'll say and price is greater than 200, and we get 2 values back because only 2 of those in category 1 are over 200. Alright, and we can change this to less than, and it gives us everything under 200. So very very handy. We could even say let's get rid of the price and the and. Now you can see we use the double ampersamps for and, but you can also type in and it should do the same thing. Now we can also say or, which would be represented with 2 of these pipe characters. Let's say or category equals 5. Alright, so this will give us all products in category 1 or 5. So if we scroll down here, you can see we have all 1s, and then we have a couple 5s in the end as well. Now what if we want this table to display a certain way or in a certain order? Let's say that we want it to display in alphabetical order by the name. Now that's very easy to do. All we need to do is tack onto this order by, and then the field we want to order it by. So we'll say name. Now you can see that it's in alphabetical order by the name. And if for some reason you want them to be in reverse order, then we can just tack on to the end here DESC, and then we get it in reverse order. We could also just do ASC, which would be the default anyways. Okay. We can also limit the number of results. So let's say we want to run this query, but we only want the first 3. Then we could just tack on to this limit, and we need 2 parameters here. We need where the record we want to start at and how many we want to show. Alright, so we want to start at 0, so we can start at the beginning of the table, and then we want to show 3. So let's run that, and it gives us the first 3. So you can see that there's a lot of different things, different ways you can select data. And this is only the beginning. We still have concat. We have joins, where we can join 2 tables together. We can group by. We can select certain fields as aliases. So this is basically scratching the surface, and that's what I want to do in this video. I just wanted to pretty much give you the basics. We will do table joins, and we'll do some other things in the coming sections, but this is just basically the select query at its core. But before we get into joining tables and things like that, I want to show you how to update and delete data, and that's what we'll do next.